and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to At America TV. My name is Genara, and I am one of the e-guides here in At America. I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy today. And if you're new here, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. Now, since we have entered the holy month of Ramadan, let's begin our spiritual journey with our event today. Our event today is called A Little Healing to Achieve Calm, Peace, and Balance During Ramadan. But before we start the event, let's spice things up with a little trivia. Our trivia question for today is it true or false emotional distress creates susceptibility to physical illness? Stay tuned until the end of our event today because we will be giving a live shout out for those who can answer the question correctly. Other than that, don't forget to take a selfie and tag at America's Instagram account. And now, without further ado, let's give the warmest welcome to our moderator for today's event, Maulid Reski, full stack engineer. Kak Maulid, the time is yours.
Thank you, Kinara, for the introduction. Hey, everyone. I hope everybody having a good Saturday so far. So for today's session, as Kinara mentioned, it's called Little Healing to Achieve Calm, Peace, and Balance During Ramadan. It's a session to reinforce the connection between mind and body. So let's inhale and exhale and start the holy month with spirit. Before we introduce the speakers, I just would like to introduce yourself about myself. So my name is Maulid Reski, as Kinara mentioned. I have deep passion in engineering. I previously worked at Meta, formerly known as Facebook, in Menlo Park, California, and now as a product in Shopee, Indonesia. For today's session, we'll be joined by two amazing speakers behind the famous studio of yoga, meditation, and wellness kitchen. First, let's start with Ms. Janice Anyali. Ms. Janice Anyali is the co-founder of Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen, currently working as a campaign career specialist at Content Lab. Her mission is to help to make meditation more accessible to a wider audience. Her meditation and her spirituality experience started through her healing journey from depression. Janice believes meditation is not a tool, but rather an integrated part of our lives, even during our wakeful state. Hi, Janice.
Hello, Maulid. Hello, everyone.
All right. And that's from Ms. Janice Anyali. Second, we'd like to introduce you to Ms. Audria Zahiruddin. Audria Zahiruddin is the founder of Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen. She's a Yoga Alliance RYT 200 yoga instructor of Vinyasa and Yin. Her interest in wellness started with her passion for sports. She's an alum and co-leader of New York University Club, Indonesia. Currently, right now, she's pursuing her education in Executive Global Master Candidate in Management at the London School of Economics. How are you, Adria?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing well.
Good to hear you doing well. And also, I would like to welcome everyone, all At America listener from Zoom, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. All right, let's get started with today's session. All right, so right now, I believe all the At America listener is curious about Janice and Audria's stories. So why don't we start about a little bit background about Janice and Audria and how can you share your experience living in the US? And probably just tell us a little bit, how do you two started Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen? The floor is yours. Let's start with Miss Audria.
Hi, everyone. So I first started living in the States way back when in 2012. I lived in New York primarily because I went to New York University. I loved my time there. New York is absolutely amazing, as I wish some of you know. It's more like a city lifestyle. So it's definitely a lot like Jakarta, where everything is on 24/7. But I guess if you really like the city lifestyle, you would really love New York. The city actually never sleeps. So that's amazing. And so I lived my life in New York primarily only for university. So after I graduated, I came back immediately to Jakarta. And that was my beautiful life in the States. And I let Janice take the floor and share her experience in the States first before we go and tell how we first started our studio together.
Thank you. Hi, Audria, and hi, everyone. So I'm Janice. I'm also the co-founder here at Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen. So I think went to America or the States around the same time as Audria. I was actually living in Seattle for a year. Same as her, or same as a lot of Indonesians back here. We actually went to America definitely for our college and also our university. So that was our life there. Pretty much it was very interesting because obviously I was probably 16 years old at that time. So during that time, it was really interesting to finally live outside of my whole own home country, and then to actually experience living somehow more of an independent lifestyle than I was living in Jakarta. So that was definitely a lot of experience or life-changing experience, I would say, as I was living there. And also to kind of, it was definitely my first time as well living overseas by myself, especially with the new culture, new country. So that was all very interesting for me as I got to absorb how people there live like. It was very completely different on how we used to live in Indonesia. I guess everyone would somehow agree that here we do have helpers sometimes, we do have drivers, or we don't really use the public transports that much compared to, I mean, to now, we do definitely with a lot of advancement. But during that time, it was very, very interesting to let this young 16-year-old be by myself. So it was really, really great. Thank you.
It's an awesome story to hear from two of you. I bet right now everyone is so curious more and more about two of you. Well, now we know your experience living in the US. And as Audrey mentioned, we probably also would like to know how two of you started the Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen. And off to you, Janice.
So it's an interesting story. Me and Audria, we have been friends since 2006. We went to the same school together. So yes, ever since, same as Audria, after our years living in overseas or the States to pursue our degree, we actually came back to Indonesia. And then as we were always close before, we managed to definitely hang out again. And during that time, it was in our I say early 20s, where we came home with a lot of new knowledge, a lot of new inspiration, and we actually started talking about other business ventures rather than this one. But our hangouts would often be going to yoga classes, and it was, that's how we usually hung out. And then it got to a point where Audria was talking to our other partner as well to talk about a coffee shop, running a cafe. And then suddenly it just came out that we actually do, as partners, really love doing yoga or our other journeys in spirituality, such as meditation and whatnot. And we decided that it was a great opportunity for us, as there were a lot of yoga studios in Jakarta back then. However, it was more towards community based, which a lot of people at that time might have felt a little bit intimidated to go walk up to a yoga studio if we're a newbie or if you're new to it. So we thought about making a yoga studio that can cater to people who are actually new to the sports itself or the movement itself. So through that, we created a yoga studio that was more focused on the youth, and also in a way marketed or branded that is less intimidating for a lot of newcomers. So that's how we got to actually develop Mood Wellness Studio and Kitchen together. But yeah, would love to hear from Audrey's side.
Yeah, so when we first decided that we wanted to make the studio together, we were thinking to do something with one another, but we just couldn't figure out what to do, like what Janice was saying. And often our hangouts or our meetup point would always be, meeting up to do yoga together. And when we were doing the classes together, we do realize that oftentimes at that time, before we opened our studios, we were definitely the youngest amongst the yogis in the class. So we were thinking to one another, why do you think that is? Why do you think we're the only ones who are here, who are our age? And we were thinking maybe it's because, before in yoga, there's a very strong sense of community and a very strong sense of yoga practitioner who have been practicing for quite a while would always come to the same teacher, come out to the same studios. So it creates this sort of illusion of advancement that, oh, if you're new, you can't really join the class because you wouldn't know the poses, you wouldn't know what to do because oftentimes the teachers wouldn't necessarily um, do the actual poses they're saying. So they would just mention it. And it was also partially because Janice and I already had a yoga practice background back when we were living in the States. So we kind of knew some of the poses they were talking about. So it wasn't really intimidating for us, but we do realize that, oh, it might be intimidating to some of the newbies out there because they don't really know what the poses are. And especially when you go to a room full of people that you can't really relate to, it creates this sort of barrier that you're a little bit unwelcome. So that might be the reason that we were hypothesizing. So after that, we decided to that there's a gap in the market, and definitely we could fill that gap with our studio. And our approach was definitely to be more welcoming, to still have that sense of community that yoga offers, which I think is really great, but somehow broaden it to welcome a lot more people who are maybe not that spiritual yet, doesn't know what yoga is or what mindfulness is, but is very curious to go into that direction, haven't really practiced yoga before, so they don't know the asanas, they don't know what all of the poses are, and create this sort of sense where it doesn't matter if it's your first time learning yoga, if it's your first time practicing yoga, everyone's welcome. If you're still having, if you're still doing your other vices that might not seem as a healthy vice, and it's okay. Everyone starts somewhere, and we want to welcome everyone who are curious about yoga at that time. And we are very blessed that we have amazing instructors that teach with us, that continuously help us to grow a number of students and educate these newbies to become a full-time yoga practitioner, because over time a lot of the new instructors at Mood are actually students who were first teaching, learning yoga at Mood. And I found that so humbling and so amazing how, dedication and passion for yoga actually lead them to find something that they really love to do. So I really love making that platform with my friend and being able to, you know, make that platform available for everyone in Jakarta who probably at that time when we opened in 2019 wasn't really aware of what yoga is, or maybe they just have basic foundation of what yoga is all about. And now when I look around the community in Jakarta, there are so many people who are practicing yoga and who are more open to being more spiritual, or even not, if it's not just yoga, people are meditating more and people are doing more breath work or more sound healing. And I think it's really great to be in touch with that other side of you.
Awesome. That is a really amazing stories from two of you. I couldn't believe that you guys started with as a high school friend and then went to abroad US and all the way from there till now and started business together. Listen, folks, see, you never know who you're gonna start business with. Could be your best friend. And also, I guess you mentioned earlier about the yoga and the meditation in general, right? And then how you want to make it more accessible, more give the knowledge to all the people that is like new to the space. I guess my next question is for people that are new to the space of like this health and wellness, what do we need to know about meditation in general? And I guess yeah, that's the question for our listener today. Yeah, what do we need to know about meditation, Janice, Audrey?
I'll let
Mm,
Janice take the floor on this because she's our meditation teacher. So I'll let her explain what it's all about.
yeah, so I guess for definitely beginners or a lot of people right now, especially after COVID, after this pandemic, a lot of them are starting to appreciate or actually coming to realize how important is one's mental health or one's mental wellness. So with that in mind, I think what should people know about meditation, or how should I introduce meditation so that it's easier for other people to grasp? It's that when I first started meditating in 2012, there was so many information. So even if you actually Google right now how to start meditating or what is meditation, there will be a lot of different types of meditation that comes out. There could be from transcendental meditation or mindfulness meditation, sound bath healing meditation, chakra balancing meditation, self love meditation, kundalini meditation. There's a lot of different types of meditations. However, what I think would be very beneficial, or what main idea about meditation would be very beneficial to know, is I would like to think meditation, there's so many different types of meditation. However, I would like to share that the core of meditation is actually to practice how to witness. So it is actually a practice of self-awareness. So even though you are doing self-love meditation or gratitude meditation or any other types of meditation, the idea of your core, or the idea of your awareness, your main awareness that is witnessing your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, or whatever that is going on around you, is always present. So I would suggest that for beginners, what is the best meditation to start from is actually mindfulness meditation. So that way you're actually practicing yourself to be more aware, to be more present before you introduce yourself to other types of meditations, because that is the core. And one of the other idea or thought about meditation that I would like to share is that a lot of people use meditation as a tool. I was one of those person as well, where it was some sort of like a tool for me to escape when I was stressed or when I was not feeling good about myself. So, for example, I woke up today and then I'm thinking about my past problems to yesterday's problem, and I wake up not in a good mood, or I am stressed about my work. And then I used to use meditation as the tool. Oh, that means I should meditate. But I would like to share that the way that we should see meditation is more as an integrated part of our lives. So the way to see it is it might be I might be accepted. You guys might think about it if it's a good way of thinking for you. But it was actually taught by one of my teachers that meditation is an integrated part of your lives. It's that how we practice it enough every day that we pretty much practice our brain to keep staying in the present, to keep acquiring this deep connection with our self awareness enough, is so that when we're not sleeping, when we're not in our wakeful state, so when we're actually doing our daily routines, when we're working, when we're talking to our friends, or even when we're having disagreements, we always have this connection with our awareness, our core awareness, because we have practiced enough to witness these thoughts that we are not pretty much controlled by these emotions, but we can slowly create a space between ourself, our most core self, our awareness, towards these different emotions that are coming in and out of our lives. Because obviously, as humans, apparently we have 70,000 thoughts per day. That is a lot of thoughts that is coming in and out. It might be a thought about what you want to do after this class, or what you have to do after you take a shower, or your past problems, or what happened yesterday. So a lot of these thoughts come and go. But if we don't practice this idea of self-awareness, we'll be somehow like being enslaved by these thoughts, and we're going up and down together with the ever-changing emotions or feelings or thoughts that our mind produces. So by practicing enough meditation, even 3 minutes daily is already good enough. is that slowly we can have it connected deep within us, so that as a practice, when we're actually in our wakeful state, we're not so controlled by everything. So I think definitely, especially with the Ramadan coming, and also the theme of this today's talk, a lot of thoughts about feelings of hunger, or a lot of thoughts about waiting might come as, oh, what time is 6 p.m. soon, or whatever. So as these thoughts are coming in, if we practice meditation to keep coming back to the present moment, slowly we will be able to just actually have a space between ourselves and these thoughts, and we won't be too controlled by them. So I guess that's the whole idea of meditation that I can share for now. Hope it was easy to be understood. So yeah.
Yes, that's
I would
such
like,
insightful information. Would you like to add anything, Adria?
yeah, I'd like to add something for that. It was a definitely such a great explanation from Janice, and I know she practiced meditation every day, and she also teach at Mood. She teach meditation for beginners at Mood to welcome everyone who is curious about meditation and what meditation is all about, so they can understand more deeply. But I would like to explain more from a practitioner side, and how meditation truly helps us to control our mind in a sense. And it is not until I'm later on in my practicing life that I understand the importance of meditating, the importance of taking your time to actually be in the present moment, and to be in center and grounding yourself to that moment in time. Because I would just like to give a sort of explanation. For example, if you're doing yin yoga, and in yin you're holding the pose for 5 to 10 minutes long, and you might think, ah, that's not a long time. But actually, when you're doing the pose, whatever the pose might be that the teacher or the instructor recommend you to do, time is actually pretty long. 5 to 10 minutes, you might feel like it's a really long time. And again, when we taking meditation into the context of practicing yoga, it really helps for your body and your muscles and your tendons and your joints to truly integrate itself to the pose and truly relax everything that's in your body, so you can feel the full benefit of the pose. For example, there's this one pose called the butterfly pose, with really helps opening up your hips, which controls a lot of emotions, as any yogi would say. The pose, the pose is somewhere when you have your feet together and your knees are opened and it's dropped to the either side of your body. Um, and then you have to hold that pose for 5 to 10 minutes long. And for some people who are very stiff, who have really tight hips, who also have really less movement in their hip joints, in their hip muscles, or is really holding a big emotional problems, or have, they're not open to their emotions yet, would find this position really difficult. And to hold that in for 5 to 10 minutes is really hard for a lot of people. But it is, I find it's until you have learned to let go, or in a sense to meditate fully into the pose, it is only then you can fully achieve what yin is all about, or what the practice is all about. So it's really beautiful how meditation and also practicing yoga really goes hand in hand, and how the practice of being in the present, being in the moment, could fully make you more focused in your yoga practice, and also surrender to whatever pose that you are doing, so your body can receive the full benefit from the pose. But if you're doing it alongside meditation, your mind are actually getting the benefits as well. So that's what's so amazing when you started doing meditation and you are a yoga practitioner.
That is great to hear. Hey, listener, we came here for like a session, but we learned so much more now about meditation, about yin yoga, how it could help ourselves. And as you know, right now, people already start going back work like to office like WFO, and then some people also still work from home, but the business start opening right now. And segueing into the month of Ramadan, could you just probably share us a little bit for like all these people that is like doing like their work, how meditation could benefit into their daily lives?
Yeah, so I guess as I quickly mentioned before, meditation is about practicing your self-awareness and your ability to keep coming back to the present moment. As I want to say, I think this is important to share as well. So do not judge your mind if your mind actually is erratic or if it's thinking too much, or that when you're meditating, you're like, oh, I can't seem to focus, I can't seem to stay present. Do not judge your mind because that is what our minds are made to do. We have five senses, it's connected everything to our brain, as our body tells us it's hungry, or you're used to eating at 12 p.m. So there will be a correlation or a connection there. And then thoughts would definitely be produced by mind. It happens really quickly. And then that is actually our mind's main job to do. So if your mind is actually thinking about, oh, why don't I have self-discipline? Why am I, feeling hungry where I should, be more patient about this, practicing about this? I would like to say first is to not judge it. But however, how meditation can come to help is that as we practice being in the present, which we will practice later, a bit of mindfulness meditation. So as we practice to focus or shift our focus towards what is being offered right now, we are slowly telling or practicing our brain to actually create this space between ourselves and these emotions that our mind is producing. So as we create this space slowly, we will not be actually be controlled by the thoughts anymore, but we will simply just be able to recognize it. That pretty much if you treat your thoughts as like a guest, so these thoughts of hunger or like, oh, I cannot stand myself, I think I'm going to break my fast today or whatnot. Treat of them like a guest coming knocking at your door. But you just simply acknowledge them and greet them. Hey, you're there. However, I'm not going to serve you tea tonight, or I'm not going to serve you anything today. So it's basically you practice how meditation can come in hand is that you're practicing yourself to actually acknowledge and witness, hey, I'm actually feeling hungry. Hey, I'm actually being irritated because of my hunger. And then slowly you create this strength or through this space that you're not really too controlled by them. So you can actually acknowledge. So what a good example of showing it is that, let's say there's a waterfall and if you're actually sitting right under the waterfall, and let's say the water is your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions and whatnot. If you're sitting right under it, you're going to not have clarity. You're pretty much going to be everything. You're 2-1 with the emotions, thoughts, and feelings. However, if you actually step a little bit back and see all these thoughts and emotions coming in and out, you will have much better mental clarity, and you would not be too in one or too identified with these emotions, thoughts, and feelings. So that is one way how meditation can help you during this time as well. And slowly, it will also help you create a space for you to be more aware of other thoughts or other deeper sensations or emotions or feelings that are actually in you. For example, we all probably people who fast do have their sahur time where they actually um, consume some food and beverages that can get them prepared for the next, I'm not sure, 8 to 9 hours of fasting. So during that time, maybe the the source of your hunger is not really your body telling yourself that you need nutrients or that you're actually depriving yourself. But maybe through meditation, you can also slowly recognize that maybe during at 12 p.m. at lunch at work, usually I'm so used to ordering my cup of sweet coffee that it's triggering. It's like a habit. So maybe through that, or maybe your friend walks by who usually is the friend who always asks you, hey, let's go for like a quick jajan time or snacking time. And then that could correlate. So maybe through meditation, you could also start to notice this little cues more as you are practicing more self-awareness. So you can understand, hey, I'm actually not that hungry. That was just the cue that I'm used to that um, stirs up something in me, like a habitual cue that I want to now am starving for a sweet sugary drink. So that could be little ways on how it can help you through Ramadan. And definitely, of course, I do understand that during Ramadan, you're supposed to also stop yourself from feeling negative feelings, but the anger or any irritation or annoyance or whatnot, right? Or sadness. So as you are probably we're human as well. So definitely there will be good days and bad days. However, again, that this is not meditation doesn't only will benefit you through your hunger times, but it will actually help you to uncover and help more time for you to uncover yourself on why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? So I think that would be a good tool for you to have this Ramadan time where you can actually enjoy yourself more and get to know yourself more so that after this whole month of Ramadan, you are not just coming out from a very good religious practice of detoxifying your mind and body, but with the habits of meditation as well, you might even uncover a new two things or three things about your deeper needs or the source of why you're feeling what you're feeling. So I guess that could be a really good benefits behind meditation during Ramadan.
Once again, thank you, Janice, for the explanation. I bet I feel so enlightened with all these answers so far, and I assume also all the At America listeners also feel well educated. I guess lastly, before we jump into audience questions, I do have one last question. I think it's more fitting for Audrey because I saw on your profile that you start this journey because you your love for sports. So, do you have any tips or tricks to stay fit during Ramadan?
Yes, I totally do. I mean, again, everybody is different. Everybody has different body. Everybody is has different capabilities. So first and foremost, always listen to yourself, always understand what it is that you can do and cannot do, and don't ever feel the need to push yourself beyond limits during Ramadan because as everybody probably knows, you are currently fasting, you cannot eat, you cannot drink. So there's very little nourishment that you can do during Ramadan. So I suggest to take things more lightly than you usually are. That there is some exercises that would be great. First is definitely yoga. I would push you to practice yoga more. Yin yoga is actually really good to do during Ramadan. So the practice of yin yoga is doing 10 to 15 poses usually in a class that you will hold for 5 to 8 minutes. It really elongates the muscles, stretches the muscles really slowly, relaxing the tendons and the joints. So it'll be great for people who usually have really strong working out programs. For example, they're a runner or they're tennis players or they like to do hit or they are a boxer, whatever that is that use your cardios or your muscles a lot, again would be perfect for you. But also for people who are first learning about what is yoga and they might think like, oh, I'm not flexible at all. I'm not I can't do this kind of pose, but it is until you try to do it and you really let go and try to open yourself slowly and help, and make gravity helps you, or time really relaxing your muscle and your tendons. I think it's one of the greatest way that you can stay fit during Ramadan. But other than that, there are still a lot of other exercises that you can do. If you're a yoga practitioner and you're already used to doing ashtanga or doing vinyasa, which is more power and more strength and more cardio, you definitely can do that because, like I said before, everybody is different. Everybody have different strength and capabilities. Other than doing yoga, I would suggest to do something more light that doesn't take a lot of cardio, so you're not needing a lot of sugar. Because I think that's one of the worst ways to faint during Ramadan because you're in need of extra sugar, extra energy. But I would say something very light, something that controls your mind and body, which is yoga. I'm just really hoping everybody starts to do yoga right now. It's really good for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for the answer. I guess continuing to that, we actually have first questions from Adele. Her question is, can you give me some tips to do yoga at home? So I guess Audrey can continue answering these questions.
Yes, there are a lot of ways that you can do yoga from home. I mean, if you like seeing videos or if you are subscribed to big yoga videos such as like Alo Moves, you can definitely start with that. But if you are not familiar to that, a lot of studios, as well as Mood, do offer online training. So you can take online classes, or if you are really new and you want a teacher to guide you in person, Mood also has a private online session that you can book. So you literally have one instructor leading you and correcting your form and teaching you all the different poses in yoga. But if you want something more light, there are a lot of different forms of yoga that you can look up in Google. For example, Ashtanga has one set of practice that you can download to like an e-booklet and see the form, or vinyasa also have different posts that you can put together. But if you are new and you are not a practitioner, I would really recommend to go with a yoga instructor. So let them guide you, let them lead you on how to do the pose, because oftentimes a lot of people feel like they are doing the pose correctly, but it is the form that is a little bit different. So you might need help in that.
All right. Thank you. Hey, Adele, I hope that answers your questions. Second questions came from Farah. Actually, it's for Janice. She asks, hi, Kak Janice. You mentioned about self-love yoga. So what is the first step to do a self-love yoga or meditation?
Okay, thank you. Was it Adele for the question? So yeah, self-love meditation. So self-love meditation, well, definitely self-love is a big thing that I guess a lot of health and wellness or any wellness platforms are talking about, or even psychologists. So self-love meditation usually consists of self-affirmation meditations. So it could be seen as more of a visualizing meditation. So the technique is more that you're affirming yourself, you're trying to visualize yourself. How would you actually feel if you were actually this person who loves yourself a lot, who has this very innate feeling of self-love and grounded sense of self-love and self-worth and self-value? So it is a meditation practice where you will chant, or you will repeat after the facilitator or the teacher of affirmations on self-love. So apparently there's an interesting thought or interesting saying that our brain cannot differentiate between what is reality and what is visualized. So a lot of visualizing or visualized meditation is actually also practiced by different athletes before they actually go into the field to they visualize themselves shooting the perfect goal ever. So it is actually somehow like training your mind to believe that this is that the desired person of you is actually attainable or achievable. So self-love meditation do consist of that, but a lot of the times also as you practice a lot of different meditations, and I think it is also very similar to doing yoga or when you're actually investing your time to do something good for your body and mind, this feeling or this emotion of self-love can come out very naturally as you're investing some time to yourself. It's not only the endorphins, definitely there is a lot of scientific side and research towards how exercising and meditation can help boost your self-love or self-value or self-worth as well. But even I feel like doing any sort of different types of meditation or movements or yoga or any workout sessions can help boost in a lot of ways about your self-love. And I do really personally believe that acquiring self-love or practicing self-love is an ongoing life journey. Sometimes you feel that you are very attuned or you are very in one with this feeling of, hey, I'm actually a valuable person, I'm a very valuable being. However, there might be some life instances where you feel like you're not. Maybe you just got fired from your job, or maybe someone commented something about how you look or what you did, and this some sort of feeling of self-value or self-worth or self-love diminishes. But what I would like to say is during these times, if we do practice enough and if we do actually practice this consistent practice of self-meditation or self-love meditation, these feelings will definitely come out in many different ways as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Janice. I hope Farah this answered your questions. I think I can combine these two next questions. I think it's for Audria. First, the questions came from Noah. Noah asks, I'm not flexible. Will I be able to do yoga? That's the first question. And the second one came from Mona. Mona asks, is it okay to practice yoga during fasting time? And if there are any quick tips while to do it while we're fasting? Off to you, Audria.
Well, Noah and Mona, first of all, hello. And second, yoga is for everybody, so you don't have to be flexible to be able to do yoga. Honestly, if I could tell you a little bit story about myself really quickly, I started yoga because of my injury. I had a herniated disc on my L5, which means I could not control some parts of my leg. Sometimes I can't even move my left leg when it was really bad. So I definitely started yoga not flexible at all, even though I was flexible before, but because of my injury, it limits my movement to a lot of things. But it is only then when I started to practice and I started slowly understanding form and understanding the movement of yoga and how actually it's not just about the movement and the physical body, it's also about controlling your mind. So for example, if you keep on telling your mind, I'm not flexible, I can't do this, I can't open this wide enough, then your body will follow. It's like what Janice was saying, you're kind of training your mind. But if you just let go, for example, you say, okay, in this yoga practice today, my hands can only reach this height. But tomorrow, when I do it again, maybe some joints are more relaxed, some muscles are elongated, and your hands can reach higher. And then the next day, when you're doing it again, it can be even higher. So it's definitely through repeat practice and through discipline and doing it every day repeatedly, or you don't have to do it every day. You can do it once or twice or three times a week, and then you will see progress. So it is definitely fine if you feel like you're not flexible right now, and yoga is not all about flexibility. Once you have started the practice, I definitely recommend you to start to it because you might be shocked at how your body can actually progress or how your body are actually bendy in some ways because everyone is different. Everybody have different bone structure. Everybody have different muscles. I have really big hips. Some people have really small hips, and that I have different warrior form. I have different lunges form than other people, and it's fine. It's not because other people can't do certain movement or I can do certain movement. God invented us this way, and I think we should just be able to accept who we are. And yoga practice is definitely for everybody because there's not one set of rule. And again, like I mentioned before, Mona, for the yoga practice during Ramadan, I definitely recommend something a little bit more light. So something like yin yoga, it's really good. Or you can do a meditative flow, which is a slower pace flow. Hatha yoga is also really nice during Ramadan time if you're already a practitioner. Because definitely when you're doing this, it's more about the poses in itself and being able to hold the poses and understanding the form. So it's a little bit more light than your typical vinyasa or ashtanga class, which requires a lot of power and strength and flow.
All right. Thank you for the answer, Audria. And next one's for Janice. Also, we have two questions. First one came from, let me see. All right. I get it. First one came from Anna. Anna asked, she could, she cannot get her mind to shut off during meditation. What can she do? And then second one is from BJ Swamintaya. BJ asks, to make meditation, must it be related with our each belief in religion? Or it is nothing to do with all these beliefs, just only to free our mind from the disturbance in our life? So the floor is all yours, Janice.
Thank you. So I guess to first answer the first question, I do get this a lot during my classes. Is like, hey, I can't seem to quiet my mind. I can't seem to, not think about anything. And that is one of the biggest myths about meditation. So actually, meditation is not really about how good you are at sitting or how good you are at quieting your mind. Meditation is actually a practice again to witness without judgment, but with kindness and with joy. And to keep practicing witnessing, acknowledging that, oh, I do have these thoughts in my head. And actually, sometimes some people do come up with questions like, I feel like I'm thinking a lot more when I'm meditating compared to when I'm doing my daily activities. So, what I would answer to, if you feel like you can't really quiet your mind, don't worry about it because that's how our minds are made to do. And if you feel like you're thinking a lot more, your minds are more erratic when you're meditating, it could actually be a good sign because you're finally aware that these thoughts were actually running in your mind because usually um, um, you're so used to going about your daily life. You're pretty much in an autopilot mode. You're going about your to-do list. You're not really thinking. You're not really practicing self-awareness. That sometimes it might be a good sign that you're actually now a bit more aware about how your mind works. So again, meditation is not about quieting the mind or being good at sitting and not thinking about anything, but it's about witnessing these thoughts. So as you're thinking, thoughts come in and go. Maybe you're thinking about, oh, I forgot to do this, or oh, I've thinking about the past, or oh, someone just texted me, and then your mind directly goes there. I wonder who it is. So after, as you are thinking, as you're meditating, just witness it. Just say like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and then come back to your breathing again. It's like training your little puppy as if you're training a little kid who doesn't know anything, which is your mind, to, hey, keep coming back to the present moment. So as you are doing this, when you're after practicing meditation consistently and you're used to it, coming back to the present moment, when you're about to go on your daily lives and you're again in an autopilot mode, you will slowly hear this, oh, I'm actually thinking this, oh, I'm actually feeling this. So you're able to more create a space, as in you'll be able to think before you speak. You'll be able to decide before you autopilotly decide on a decision. So if you do think a lot more during meditation, that is not a bad sign. It is actually just what your mind is made to do. So again, just acknowledge it, that it's there, witness that your mind has wandered, and then just come back to the practice again. So that's for the first question. And for second question, I think it's in the chat box as well. Must it be related with our each belief in religion? So meditation, again, it's very, very wide. There's a lot of secular meditation where it's not actually related to any religion at all, but based on more scientific findings. So there's that types of meditation. There's also a meditation that is very rooted deep into Hindi or Indian cultures. So a lot of meditations are actually old recordings from Indian institutes and whatnot. And there's also meditation that is more spiritual, more about opening your chakras, more about opening this energy centers. So there are very many different types of meditations. So I guess to answer your question, it all depends on what your beliefs are. For me personally, what I would do is sometimes I do enjoy doing my more spiritual meditation. And then during that time, it's just fully surrender. That sometimes you don't really need to have all the answers to what is being offered to you. So, for example, you're just an open book. As you don't really have to adopt them if it's not in line with your religion as well. But through that, I think a lot of new reflection can come in. So a lot of new values that you might learn from different cultures or different religions or different beliefs, whatnot, that you might it might inspire you to adopt it as well. So what I'm trying to say is it's not like a must that it needs to be related with religion, but if you do have a certain belief or values, it might be interesting as well to surrender and just have an open book and to experience what these different teachings has to offer. And it might, as you have your own beliefs and values and religion, it might also deepen your practice with your own beliefs as well. So yes, I hope that answers the question.
Thank you for the another insightful answer, Janice. And the next one is, I think it's for Andrea. All right, it's from Ryan and Sophia. They both ask, Ryan and Sophia right now is pretty nervous to go to a studio. They would like to know how do they get started, and if they do, for example, would like to be doing it at home, how they can do it and how to prepare it. All right, Andrea.
So there are a lot of people who are still scared to go to studios, and I completely understand. It is terrifying, especially after the pandemic. But no, a lot of studios are already putting their health and safety protocols and their measures, and a lot of studios are installing really big diffuser to change the airflows of the studio. But if you are still worried and you want to start your home practice, it's completely fine. I would suggest for you to have a yoga mat at home and get one that is specifically mentioned that it is a yoga mat, so you have really good grip. I find that other fitness mat doesn't have good grip, and good grip will definitely help you along your yoga journey. And once you start practicing yoga, you would understand what I'm talking about. Other than yoga mat, I think it depends again on what you're practicing. If you are practicing yin, you might want to have a bolster. I recommend also a meditation bolster, or you can use blocks for this. Some people find it hard to sit up straight. And if you are actually elevated, it's easier for your hips to open and your lower spine to actually be in a straighter line. Or some people don't really know that they are actually suffering from sciatica, and having blocks underneath your tailbone and as well underneath your knees are actually helping you, so your body doesn't hurt when you sit for long periods of time. And like I mentioned before, I think somebody asked before, oh, how do I get started on doing yoga at home? there are a lot of studios as well as Mood that offers online classes, and you can definitely join online classes. I would recommend you to join online classes because the teachers actually help not just by guiding you to what to do, but they're also guiding you on the proper form and the proper movement. So you're definitely eliminating any possible risk or for injuries, as well as definitely a one-on-one session if you are a new student, so you know more about the form, you know more about what the practice is, and definitely have the correct form so that in any time you want to join a bigger group of class, you already know what certain poses are and the correct pose are, just to guide you to have a safer and more easier journey to your yoga practice. But there are also, like I mentioned, yoga videos that are offered from big yoga bodies. For example, Alo. Alo has Alo Moves, which has tons of videos. And Alo, I think, is from the United States as well. So you can definitely look at that. I know it is a paid for subscription, but if you are looking for others, there are also some in YouTube that you can find. But again, I would recommend going with an actual instructor and teacher so they can correct your form and they can guide you to do the practice better.
All right, Andrea, thanks for the answer again. I think today we answered most of the questions, and there are some more other questions. And I feel like if you still any at all ask question, feel free to ask the question to their Instagram at Mood Jakarta. If you would like to know more about yoga or meditation in general, feel free to DM them and ask them the questions. But we have to jump to our next session, which is meditation session led by Janice. Super excited for this. I cannot wait to clear my mind off. And the floor is to yours, Janice.
I think I'm on mute, sorry. So thank you, Wallet. So I guess we could get started for a quick 15 to 20 minutes meditation. So today's meditation, what I would like to practice is mindfulness meditation. So it is practically, I guess, the most basic or the most important but a really good foundation of meditation before we can move into other types of meditation. And there's a lot of different sides of mindfulness meditation. Actually, there is loving kindness, there is gratitude meditation, there is forgiving people, self-forgiveness meditation as well. But for today's meditation, I would like us to practice finding our anchor. So why is it important? I guess is when I think Audria would relate as well. I think as a yoga instructor, you do mention come back to your breathing a lot, go back to your breathing, connect with your breathing. But oftentimes we are, for beginners, we're confused. How do we go back to our breathing? And breath is actually one of the very important role in spirituality, meditation, or yoga, because that's the main tool that can help us bring us back to the present moment. So we'll be practicing how to find your anchor, which is your breath, and we would explore these different areas of breath. So for example, there's the sound of breath, there's the movement as well, there's the little subtle feelings that you feel, and then slowly you would relate to one of them and you find your anchor. So later during Ramadan, when you feel like your mind is too erratic, you can't seem to focus, you're driven by your hunger or your irritation or your emotions, just take a moment to come back to your breathing for a while. So I think it will be a really good practice. So I guess for this meditation, it is 15 to 20 minutes. You might feel pins and needles or kasamutan. So what I would usually suggest is you can take a little pillow or a stack of books and just place it under your hips or your tailbone area. So you elevate your hips. So as you do that, actually, it will create a much more comfortable position for you to sit for a longer period of time. So I guess we can get started now. So everybody, if you haven't done so, let's take a quick 1 minute for you to find a comfortable sitting position and gently close your eyes when you're ready. Everybody find a comfortable sitting position. For this meditation, we would like to be seated down. We wouldn't want to be lying down because we're practicing awareness. We don't want to we don't want to fall asleep during this meditation. During this meditation, you can actually put your back against the wall, or if you're sitting on a chair, you can actually do that as well. Or you can also have your spine comfortably erect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything is imperfect. Just have a comfortable sitting position. We want to be as comfortable as we can. We want to be as much as we can less distracted with uncomfortability. So do find a comfortable sitting position, but also a place where there has less distraction than other places. If you haven't done so, you can now gently close your eyes. And for this meditation, you can gently place your palms on top of your knees, face down on top, or if you have a mudra, or if you have any other place that's more comfortable for you, then do that as well. Comfortable as you can. Like us to also have a tall spine, but thinking about it. As it was a long session before this, where time was nice. Let's take a couple of full. For this 5 full breaths, like us. Place your right hand like so on top of your belly, left hand on top of if it's comfortable for you. But this is important as we want to practice full breath. It is actually a really good practice to calm our nervous down. Belly breathing was actually the most foundation, or it's actually the most natural way for us to breathe. Because as we grow older, as we encounter some traumatic experiences or constant stressors in our lives, sometimes changes a more rapid breathing that is more focused on the upper parts of the body. Connecting to our belly breathing is actually really good for us to prepare ourselves for meditation. Let's take a couple of moments. And you inhale through your nose and lightly inflate or expand your belly. You exhale and lightly contract. Imagine as if you're blowing up. Let's take a full and your belly. Full and like acting our belly. I feel a bit uncomfortable. It helps if you actually kind of force it. Let's take another. Perfect. Deep, another inhale. Take our last breath of our belly breathing. Deep, slow inhale. Deep, slow exhale. From here onwards, I'd like us to find our natural rhythmic beat. Let it breathe as it is. Your judging mind comes in. Just acknowledge it. Just witness it. Come back to the practice. Training a little puppy or a little toddler without judgment, kindness, and joy. Let your breath find its own natural rhythm. Here on earth, like us to think that we are not in a hurry. For the next 15 minutes, think we can actually wait. And what matters the most right now is practice. It's right, offered right in front of us. Crash everything. Let's take a moment here to further relax our body. Prepare ourselves better for it. We can start to gently allow, giving yourself permission, giving yourself a sense of you're allowed to relax. I am okay to relax right now. You might notice as well how as you're telling each part of your body to relax, there's this connection between your mind and your body. Your body responds to relax. Maybe send a little bit of gratitude here and there. Your body's working, mind is working. Gently allow yourself to relax your eyes. Leave the tension in your eyes, your eyebrows. Gently move down your cheeks, your jaw. Try to release the discomfort of gently, purely relax your face. Okay. So you're not in a hurry. Allow your shoulders to fall back down. Allow your stomach to relax. Legs. Maybe as parts of the body. Technology and that happens. Gently acknowledge that again without judgment. Your curiosity. And if your mind starts to wander, and that there's power in minds and feet. And breathe back. Nothing. I'd like us to awareness. It's big. Where we are actually living here, right? Sometimes there's so are actually right now, right? And you're aware. Gently begin to imagine spaces visualize it. From here, you can also extend your awareness from the right shoulder, right wall, and gently visualize. Again, with light and joy, doesn't matter. Up here, you can also bend it towards your left shoulder, your most left wall, and face your back, where it's touching in the room, and you're actually having your back resting on something. Or more back, the most wall behind you. Gently imagine yourself seated, actually here and you're actually here, breathing, meditating, giving yourself the investment. Dig deeper to connect with one. Again, if your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back again. Realization that you are actually here right now. Sometimes it's all that matters. Fully here again, and like us, off the ground where you're press all up through the spine, up to the spine, maybe start to visualize how it feels of your body stacking up against one another. How your hips supporting your spine. How your spine is strong and supporting your shoulder and your neck and your head. How it's all stacked up against one another. The sensation of you needed actually here. Gently extend that awareness. Maybe visualize again the depth of light and joy. Visualize how gravity is pulling you down. And you are actually seated here somewhere with the earth and the ground, that you are always connected, grounded to the ground. Visualize again with light and joy, the sensation of gravity. Connect with the sensation for a while with curiosity. You are actually here, that you are always grounded, you are always safe. Sometimes subtle, gentle sensations that we don't actually give our awareness and attention to, what actually brings us a lot more towards the present moment, as our minds are wandering here and there. Sensation again keeps us back, grounded, what matters the most right now. Not in the past, not in the future, but it's right now. From here, again, I'd like to now extend our awareness towards our breath. Beautiful breath that is keeping us alive. That is the signal that, hey, you're actually alive. And again, that is sometimes all that matters at the end of it. You're here, you're breathing. And gently notice as you inhale and exhale how your chest expands, how your body feels like it melts more to the ground as you exhale. And gently stay here for a little while. Expansion and this contraction, as just gently be here with this movement of your breath. And again, if your mind starts to wander, just gently bring it back, like training a little puppy back to the sensation, this movement of your breath. And from here, you can also extend your breath and maybe feel the coldness that you feel in between your nostrils as you inhale, and the warmth that you feel in between your nostrils as you exhale. And just gently stay here for a little while with curiosity. And again, if your mind starts to wander, starts to question, starts to judge, just witness and acknowledge that your mind has wandered off. That, hey, this is actually how my mind works. Witness it with curiosity, but without judgment, and gently bring it back again to the sensation of the coldness and the warmth. Just stay here for a little while. And from here, you can also extend your awareness of breath towards the sound of your breath, the subtle sound that you can hear as you inhale. And as you exhale, finding your anchor little by little as you explore these different sides of your breath with curiosity, with kindness towards yourself. And maybe even the subtle micro sensation of how, as you exhale, the air is touching the upper parts of your lips, or even the sensation behind your throat on how, as you inhale, as your inhale is finishing, that there's this micro sensation behind your throat. Or even the whole experience of you breathing, the sound, the coldness, the warmth, the movement of your chest, this whole experience of you breathing. Just gently be in one with your breath for a little while here. Again, without judgment, without questioning. And even if you do, just gently witness it with curiosity and just gently bring it back again to your breath. That it is in these little practices that we slowly train our brain, train our awareness to be more aware of our incessant thoughts, emotions, and feelings, and the ability to witness it, notice it, and to keep coming back to the present moment. So slowly, as you have explored your breath, your anchor, as you practice this meditation more, you can gently begin to find the most relatable anchor that just connects with you. Might it be the coldness and the warmth, or the sensation, or the movement of your breath that can help you to have this anchor, that when you're feeling hard feelings, when you're feeling negative emotions, or when your thoughts just seem so erratic, that there's always this anchor present and available to us at all times to come back to now, where it all matters. So when you're ready, you can gently rub your palms together and feel the heat in between your palms as we end the meditation. And you can gently place them on top of your closed eyes. And as we end the meditation, as you slowly open your eyes, you can also gently massage your head and your body. It is in this little skin to skin touch with our own self that also is a form of self-love. So when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes as we end the meditation. Thank you, everybody, for joining the quick 20 minutes meditation. Hope it was good.
Thank you so much, Janice. This is such a eyes-opening session. The air feels fresher now. And for those of you who still curious about meditation, yoga, and yin, you can visit the people at Mood Wellness Kitchen Studio on their Instagram to check out their schedule at Mood Jakarta to find out about their weekly schedule, what they're offering right now, or even like checking out their menu too for like Wellness Kitchen. And also, I'd like to say thank you for our two speakers today, Ms. Janice Anyali and Ms. Audrey Zahiruddin, for your time. We all this listener would like to say thank you, and we will feel very well educated about the topic of mindfulness and wellness as well. So I'm handing the mic over to Janara to take the lead. To you, Janara.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation today. I hope that everyone had a great healing session from today's event. And thank you so much to our speakers, Kak Janice and Kak Adria, for sharing us your knowledge and also for leading today's meditation. Thank you as well to our moderator, Kamalit, for moderating today's discussion. Now, earlier in this event, we asked audience members a trivia question, and that question was, is it true or false emotional distress creates susceptibility to physical illness? And the correct answer to that is true. Research shows that emotional distress creates susceptibility to physical illness, including viral infection and also cardiovascular disease. Shout out goes out to @Erida Pulungan from Instagram for answering the question correctly. And thank you to everyone else who has also participated on our QOTD. Now you may be wondering, how can I develop an awesome idea for Ad America? It's very easy. You can go to our website at www.atmerica.or.id. And then you can select create an event and collaborate with us. All event proposals coming to us will be reviewed and your event might be featured with us soon. Also, don't forget to follow our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook at AT America for our event updates, fun content, and so much more. Don't forget as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also newsletter. With that, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Genara, and see you soon at the next Ad America event. Goodbye.